Hi everybody, it's Carolyn. I'm going to do a tag, and I was tagged by Joe34576, and she's a sweetheart. If you haven't checked her out, I'll list her channel below, so you have to go by and pay her a visit. So this is the 50 random facts about me. I know this has gone around a long time ago, but we're going to do it. And so I just wrote down of course, random things. So I'll just kind of go down the list. Number 1, my natural hair color is a dark brown. I don't like to ride rides, like going to an amusement park or something like that. I don't. There's a few that I will, but anything that spins around or anything like that, I don't want to do it. I don't like riding on the interstate. I just don't. It makes me very anxious. I don't know. Big trucks and all that, I don't like it. I have a hard time trusting people. I have had some reasons for that, and so it's just kind of carried on, and so I have a hard time with trust. I have anxiety disorder. Gosh, you wouldn't have known that from some of the above already, I'm sure. But I was diagnosed with anxiety disorder when I was in my early 20s, and I have fought that for all of my life. I have one child. I have a son, and I always wanted to have more children, but I lost one due to a tubal pregnancy, and I wasn't able to conceive anymore. I love to give. My mother always said I'd never be rich because I'd give it all away, and that is probably true. That gives me so much joy, is to give things to people and make them happy. I always wanted to be a nurse. And I know it's a sad excuse, but there just really wasn't the money to go to school and that kind of thing. So I've worked in healthcare, but just on the administrative ends of it, with some patient interaction. Daisies are one of my favorite flowers. I like heels. I mean, I love them. I love the way they make your legs look. But I'm not the most graceful person in the world, so I've kind of given up heels, and I pretty much just always wear flats, unless there's a special occasion that I need to wear heels. I'm very sentimental. I keep things that say that were, in my family or that kind of thing, and just little things that are, very sentimental about things. My favorite meats are seafood and steak. I love steak. But there again, I love all seafood too. I was trying to think if there's any seafood that I don't like, and I can't think of any. When I was pregnant, I craved mashed potatoes, and I still love them to this day. They're one of my weaknesses. I love them. But when I was pregnant, I can remember making them every day for 7 days straight. And my husband came home and he was like, "Let me guess, we're having mashed potatoes." And I was like, yeah. So I like reality TV. I don't watch a lot of TV, so I guess sometimes it's just kind of mindless, or whatever. I do like to watch good movies, but there hasn't been a show in a long time that's really been anything that's really interests me. I ran away from school in the 3rd grade. I really disliked my teacher a lot. She was so mean. I mean, she was incredibly mean. And she was one of those that would just walk around and she had this ruler in her hand and she would just slam it on your desk. I mean, you know, you're sitting there just buying your own business. You're in the 3rd grade, you know, you're just this little kid. And I used to cry. I didn't want to go to school. So one day when we had recess, I ran away from school. And I made it all the way to, there was, I guess it was about a mile away from school that I made it. And we probably only lived about 3 miles from school. And so I had made it to this crossroad, and it was a very busy crossroad. And the principal found me. I had to go back to school. I wash my hands a lot. I don't like it to look when you go shopping and you're looking at clothes or picking up hangers and all that. I don't like the feel of that. I don't know. And I guess I've worked, started out younger in my life working around food and stuff, and so I just tend to wash my hands a lot. I don't like sweet tea. I know it is so wrong. Here I am, a true Southern girl, and I don't like sweet tea. I don't know. I've tried it and I just don't like it. And all of my family loves sweet tea, but me. I can't wait to be a grandma. They have no plans right now, but I can't wait to be a grandma. I think it's going to be just one of the best things in the world, so I can't wait to be a grandma. I love to be around elderly people. A lot of people, you know, tend to just kind of push aside the elderly, and I find them to just sit down and talk to them and listen to the stories that they have about, you know, their growing up or, you know, what have you. It is just, I just adore them. I just adore little old people. I had kidney stones when I was 20, and it took them 9 months to figure out what it was. I thought I was going to die. And I was working at the time, and I was over a computer department. And so, thank goodness that I could kind of leave from time to time, because I would end up going at my lunch hour to the emergency room. I mean, I was just dying. And they just couldn't figure it out. So finally they figured out I had kidney stones, put me in the hospital, had surgery the next day, and removed 2 large stones, and so my kidney on my right side's kind of gnarled up. I used to smoke, and I quit, and then I started back. And what helped me to stop smoking was electronic cigarette. So, haven't smoked in several years now. I used to like to do karaoke. So, it wasn't good karaoke, but I used to like to do it. I was probably, I would say, in the best shape as far as physically you know, toned and that kind of thing, as being the best weight, the best, I mean, I'd always been small, but I was probably the best toned and everything at 40. And so I went and got my belly button pierced when I was at the beach, when I was 40 years old. It's not in anymore, but I did do that. But I'm not in that kind of shape anymore either. I have a tattoo on my big toe of a ladybug. I love ladybugs. They're supposed to bring you good luck, so I have one on my toe. And I got that during a big concert type bike rally thing that I went to with some cousins of mine. So I went and had my big toe tattooed, and then I went and rode the mechanical bull. And I didn't fall off. As hard as he tried, I didn't fall off. I fell. I got my boot caught in between one of those concrete like spacer things where you pull your car up to, and a sidewalk. I had on some boots, and my foot, I went and stepped, and when I did, my foot caught, and I fell forward and knocked my 3 front teeth out. So I had to go get crowns. I love to go to the beauty shop. I've known the lady that owns the beauty shop since I was, well, I've known her all my life. She started coming to my mother's when she was just a little girl, and her mother, you know, would come, and she would come, and her mother would drop her off on the way to work, and she would stay with my mom all day, and my mom would do her hair, perm, you know, that kind of thing. And then she ended up becoming a beautician, and I go to her still. And so I'd love to go to the beauty shop. It's like Steel Magnolias. I mean, that's exactly what it's like. It's so much fun. My first job was in a clothing store. It was just a little boutique that was over in town. I was 15, I think. My first car was a white 68 Dodge Corvette. It was huge. And it was steel. And so that's what I had. I am 5'7". My shoe size is is an 8.5. If I'm going to drink soda, I want ginger ale. That's my favorite soda. I used to love Coke, but the caffeine bothers me too much, so I really love ginger ale. I've never broken a bone. Knock on some wood here. Over here's some wood, really. Let's see. I didn't really start wearing makeup until I was in my 20s. We just, you know, I mean, I wore some now and again, you know, usually for something special, but every day, no, I didn't. My mother was my best friend. I've always wanted to ride a horse on the beach. I don't know what it is about it, but it's just, it looks like the best thing ever, so I would love to do that. I've had 2 speeding tickets in my life. I dislike winter. I don't like cold. I don't like snow. I've never been one of those that wanted to go out and play in the snow. You know, I just hate it. And then you hear of all the accidents that are happening, and that I just don't, there's nothing that I love about winter. I mean, yes, I like to watch the snow fall, and it's very beautiful, but, you know, I just don't care for it. I love Nicholas Sparks' books, and maybe it's because he's from South Carolina, I don't know. And so it's kind of feel like you can almost know him because he writes a lot about the beach. But he writes awesome love stories, and I'm sure a lot of you have seen a lot of his, the movies that were based on his books. My mother never liked to shop with me. Probably nobody likes to shop with me. I'm not as bad as I used to be, but when I go in a store, especially say a clothing store, well, it can be a makeup store, it can be any store really, I will start out and wander in one direction, but then I'm zigzagging, and then I'm back and I start all over again, and I have to touch everything. It's just like I want to touch it. I just, you know, maybe it's shiny things, I don't know. If I'm in the house, I'm always barefoot. I don't like to wear shoes. I don't like slippers unless it has to be really cold for me to put anything on my feet. I can't stand it. Summertime, I'm going to be barefoot, or I'm going to have flip-flops. That's just it. I know I'm saying a lot. I'm so sorry. Listening to my dogs snore, my dogs all snore, especially two of them. I have three. And listening to them snore makes me sleepy. So I can be sitting at my desk on my computer, and my dogs will be wherever I am usually, unless their dad's home, and then they're usually with him. But they will lay in here with me and start snoring, and I just get so sleepy. Of course, I love everything about the beach. I love the smell of the beach air. I love the energy of the beach. I love seafood. I love to hear the sound of the ocean. I just love it all. I never drank coffee until I was 50, and I'm 53 now. I homeschooled my son from the 6th grade until he graduated, and then he went on to college and was on the dean's list. So I was very proud. He is a very smart young man. I never went down a water slide until I was in my 40s. A friend of mine was singing at a water park. She had won this contest through a radio station, and so she was going to be singing, and it was going to be on TV. So a lot of us went, and they were younger, but I don't know. Younger people have always liked to hang out with me. I don't know why, but there was these water slides, and I thought, okay, cool, I'll try out one of these. Well, they were marked 1, 2, 3, whatever, and so I just thought that was just, you know, when they would call out, there would be one ready. You can go down this one, you can go down this, whatever. I didn't know it meant the intensity of it, so 1 being not so bad, 4 being horrible. And of course I went down number 4, and it was a long tube, and I was upside down, and it was, I didn't like it so much. I've owned, in my adult life, being away from living at home with my parents, I've owned 5 dogs. I've never had a cat. Growing up, we had some outside kitties, but we didn't ever have one inside. My son had a bird, and he used to have a huge aquarium. In high school, my hair was down to my waist, and it was extremely thick. You couldn't really pin it up. They used to have these, it was like a leather piece, and you could, you know, put it over your hair and you'd stick the stick through it. That stick would break. I couldn't, or I would bend things trying to put my hair up. It wouldn't hold it. I've never played a sport, but I was a Girl Scout. And I think that's it. So that's just 50 random things about me. So I tag you all to do it. It's fun to kind of get to know each other a little bit better without, you know, it's just 50 things randomly that you want to share. So thank you so much, Joe, for tagging me, and I will see you on Friday. Take care. Bye-bye.